Maharashtra government last night said that all international passengers arriving from at-risk countries will have to undergo a mandatory 7-day institutional quarantine. Sources at Mumbai airport say that the order was to place passengers into compulsory isolation facilities will be implemented immediately. Travellers will be required to pay for the quarantine at the designated hotels, and this after 6 international travellers from at-risk countries tested positive for COVID. Let's go across to Saurabh now for more. And Saurabh, this particular rule, this mandatory quarantine for 7 days will come as a shock to many who've arrived since last night.
Well, yes, it will come as a shock to many, but I did speak to the government authorities and what was the reasoning behind this, because many have questioned that what purpose does it serve to sit at an airport and be stuck with people who may possibly also be carrying the infection. So the reasoning that the government said, or the authorities have said, is that what the authorities want to prevent is a local spread of a new variant, because that can lead to further problems in management of the pandemic. And the government at this point in Maharashtra wants to avoid any further restrictions, any lockdown, or any rollback of the relaxation that it has announced. They say that they have enough capacity for quarantine, institutional quarantine. And what do they mean by this? Well, they have the jumbo COVID centers which are almost empty because of the low number of cases that have been reported. So those are activated if you want institutional quarantine. Secondly, what they also have is hotels. And there are a lot of hotels near the airport that seem to have offered their sort of premises to the BMC, and what passengers who are placed in institutional quarantine who arrive from these countries of concern will have a choice to go and book at these hotels depending on the amount of money they can afford, or also they could be sent to one of the institutional quarantine jumbo centers. Now those of course are free of cost. So the government says that they have the capacity to manage the volumes, but it'll be seen when these passengers start arriving. The only point of chaos, they say, could be the place where passengers actually undergo the test, and that 6-hour period at the airport while they are waiting for their results, that is going to be difficult, because almost all flights, international flights, coming between early morning to late morning and midnight onwards. So that is something that is going to be a sort of area of concern. But the airport authorities say that they have also made enough arrangements depending on the passenger manifest and the number of passengers they expect from these flights that are coming from countries of concern. But yes, there is chaos expected at the airport, given the fact that a lot of passengers were already in the air or already on their flights when this was announced. But the government says that we have to do this to prevent local spreads of the virus, because that then can lead to a whole different proportion of problems. Though many experts say that perhaps if the virus has to travel, it perhaps in all likelihood already has. But at the same time, the government says we have to take whatever steps we can to sort of prevent a local spread.